Welcome to the Moon Manifesting Podcast with Kyra Howearth. Hi, I'm Kyra, business astrologer, moon manifesting mama, author, teacher, and mentor. I teach you how to harness the energy of the moon, stars, and cosmos so you can manifest your dreams and discover a deeper purpose to your life. Hey there, and welcome back to the Moon Manifesting Podcast. My name is Kyra Howearth, and in today's episode, I'm talking all about how to work with the new moon in Libra in 2023. This new moon in Libra coming up on the 14th or 15th of October 2023, depending where you are in the world, is actually super special because it is accompanied by a solar eclipse. So we're going to be talking all about what that means, why there's a solar eclipse, what that means for us, how to work with this energy specifically, how to work with the new moon in Libra, because not every new moon is the same. Every new moon or every moon phase has its own unique energy. This is why I do these monthly episodes all about working with the current new moon for the month, to really help you understand how to use this energy to set your intentions so that you can manifest the life that you desire. Really exciting stuff, and I cannot wait to see what you manifest with this new moon in Libra energy. So let's just dive straight into it. So the new moon in Libra is occurring on the 14th or 15th of October, depending where you are in the world. In Australia, it's going to be occurring on the early hours of Sunday, the 15th of October. Here on the eastern coast in New South Wales, it's occurring at 4:55 a.m. That's Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. For those of you who may be in the US, that will be occurring on the Saturday, either the Saturday morning or like closer to midday from the top of my head. But you can look this up, find out the exact time yourself, depending where you are in the world. Or you can also download my free moon manifesting calendar, which is available in 5 different time zone versions, which I think actually covers a span of maybe like 9 different time zones all up, or 8 different time zones all across the world, so that you don't have to guess. I've got it all there written for you. You'll find the link for my free moon manifesting calendar down in the show notes below. And it contains daily prompts for working with the moon throughout the entire moon cycle. It's a really fun resource. So make sure you check that out so that you do find the exact time for the new moon for your local time zone. So basically, this new moon is accompanied by a solar eclipse. So when we have solar eclipses, they are always accompanied by a new moon, okay? And a lunar eclipse will always happen at a full moon. But these don't happen every new and full moon. And I've done a few different episodes now all about eclipses, all about eclipses and how that happens. So if you're really curious about eclipses, you want to know a bit more about that, make sure you check out some of my other episodes. You can just search, eclipse, and I'm sure you'll find a few different episodes that will help you get a deeper understanding of why eclipses happen, and that sort of thing. But basically, when we have a solar eclipse happening, it's often because of the nodes. Well, it's always because of the nodes. In astrology, we have something called the North Node and the South Node. And while these aren't actually things that we can see in the sky, it's all to do like when we have the new moon in the same sign as these nodes or a full moon. This is often when we have an eclipse, because the sun and moon kind of line up in a bit more of an exact way, whereas normally on a new moon, it doesn't always create a solar eclipse, right? So at the moment, we actually have the South Node hanging out in Libra, and we have the North Node in Aries. So moving forward over the next, year or so now, we will be having eclipses on the new and full moons in Libra and Aries. So something to keep in mind. And eclipses always come in pairs. So this is actually the start of eclipse season, this new moon and solar eclipse in Libra. And then in 2 weeks' time, we'll actually have a lunar eclipse on the full moon in Taurus. And you might be thinking, well, hang on, didn't you just say that the nodes are in Libra and Aries and they control the eclipses? That is correct, yes. But sometimes there's different things that happen. So the eclipse that will be happening with the full moon in Taurus is actually only a partial lunar eclipse. So it doesn't quite line up, but it's close enough that it will create an eclipse. But anyway, I could talk all day about explaining eclipses, but let's just dive right into what this actual new moon in Libra is all about with this solar eclipse energy. So when a solar eclipse happens with a new moon, it really amplifies the energy of the new moon. So if you're already here listening to the Moon Manifesting podcast, you probably already know that new moons are a time of setting intentions and goals for new beginnings. So when a new moon is accompanied by a solar eclipse, it really amplifies that energy of fresh starts and setting intentions. And the thing with eclipses is that I find that you can manifest things really fast and maybe a bit intensely during eclipses. So you can set intentions and work with that eclipse energy, and things may like rapidly manifest into your life. If you are ready to change and you're really ready to manifest things fast, knowing that there may be like a bit of chaos and that may not happen as smoothly as you anticipate, but if you're ready, then harness the energy of these eclipses, harness the energy of eclipse season, because if you're ready, work with these eclipses to manifest things fast. It's a really exciting time. I love working with eclipses. And I have like some really good information as well as some fun stories about things I've manifested with eclipses in my book, Moon Manifesting. If you haven't already checked out Moon Manifesting, you can get this on Amazon, from other good bookstores. And you can also get like just a digital copy as well, like a Kindle version through Amazon. And I also have like digital copies available that I sell myself. So that's a really good resource as well if you're really curious to learn more about all this stuff. You'll find the link in the show notes below. It's just kyrahowearth.com.au/book. So when we have a new moon in Libra, so we've talked all about what a new moon means, about those new beginnings and setting intentions. Libra energy is all about finding more balance and harmony in your life. It can also be about relationships and self-love. Self-love, I feel, is super important to talk about when it comes to Libra, because I feel like a lot of the time the Libra energy is focused on supporting others. It's focused on like relationships and like helping other people or connecting with other people and like building those relationships, giving to others. But if you give too much and you don't have enough that you're giving to yourself, you don't have enough self-love practices, you're not taking time out for yourself or doing things to nourish yourself, then you're going to be giving it from an empty cup. You're going to deplete yourself and you're going to head towards burnout. So this is why I always feel that a new moon in Libra is a perfect time to, focus on the things that you want to manifest in your relationships, but don't forget about yourself. Don't forget about your relationship with you and yourself. Because yes, you can, manifest all the relationships that you want, but if you don't already have a great relationship with yourself, then that's going to have a flow-on effect to your other relationships in your life. Whether these are romantic relationships, business relationships, close friendships, relationships that you have with family members. Like it's not just like romantic relationships I'm talking about here. Your self-love practices are so important regardless. So these are the themes of the Libra new moon. So these are things that you can focus on with this new moon and solar eclipse that's coming up on Libra. So you can choose to focus on any one of those things, whatever resonates with you and whatever seems to be coming up naturally in your life. So like when I'm talking about like themes of like a new or full moon, and I'm saying like, for example, Libra, we're talking about relationships and self-love and harmony and balance and support and all these other things. It doesn't mean that you need to set intentions for all of those things, or you even have to look at all of those things. If you're like, well, I don't really need a relationship right now. I'm happy being however I am, or like, I'm happily married and, relationships, like, we're fine, we're great, we have a great relationship. If that's fine, that's cool. Maybe focus on something else. Maybe you need to focus on the balance aspect of this new moon in Libra or something else along those lines. So you get to pick and choose what's coming up for you naturally anyway, and what you want to manifest with this new moon. Never feel like, when I'm saying this stuff on this podcast, or if you follow me on Instagram, or you receive my newsletters, or like anyone else for that matter, like you're getting all this other astrological advice, don't feel like you have to do what everyone else says. Like, you don't always have to set your intentions for like that particular theme. You can pick and choose and manifest what you want. It's your life, okay? You get to choose your own adventure. So what I want to talk about next is a bit more specific about what's coming up with this new moon in Libra. So this is coming up on, as I said, the 14th or 15th of October, and it's going to be occurring at 21 degrees Libra, 21 degrees and 8 minutes Libra, if you want to get exact. So what I always love suggesting, because I find that this adds so much more meaning to your moon manifesting and like your spiritual practice and intention setting, is find out exactly where this falls on your chart. So bring up your natal chart, and if you don't have a natal chart, you can get a free one at astro-charts.com, or just Google it, free natal chart. You will find many websites that offer free natal charts. Enter in your birth details, and what you'll want to look for is the houses. So in astrology, we have 12 houses, and each of these 12 houses represent a different aspect of our lives. So if you have a look at the different 12 houses and you find exactly where 21 degrees and 8 minutes Libra is, you will see exactly which area of your life is going to be ignited by this new moon and eclipse. So I'll briefly go through these 12 houses now if you have no idea what these mean, and I will often have more details in the show notes if you click through and read that. So the first house is all about yourself, your identity, your appearance. The second house is about your goals, your tangible goals, like material things that you want to manifest. The third house is about your communication as well as networking. The fourth house is to do with house and family, home and family. The fifth house is to do with children, creativity and play. The sixth house is to do with health, daily routines and work. The seventh house is to do with relationships and support. The eighth house is to do with mysteries, business and shadow work. The ninth house is to do with education and travel. The 10th house is to do with career and legacy. The 11th house is to do with community and friendships. And the 12th house is to do with rest and deeper purpose. So have a look on your chart and find out what house this new moon and eclipse is falling in for you, because that will tell you a bit more about maybe what needs a bit more balance in your life, or what relationships need to be focused on with this new moon and eclipse. So for example, if this new moon is falling in your fifth house, the fifth house is to do with children. So this may mean that, your relationships with children in your life are your focus for this new moon and eclipse. And if you don't have children in your life, maybe it's to do with your inner child, and so forth. You can, find out where this is occurring in your chart to find that deeper layer of meaning. And another thing that you can do while you're looking at your chart is find out exactly, if there's any planets around 21 degrees Libra. Do you have any planets hanging out in that same sort of area? Or if you have maybe planets that are hanging out in Aries at about 21 degrees Aries, which is directly opposite where this new moon and eclipse is, maybe there's something going on there. Maybe there is other planets making angles to this new moon and eclipse that are going to be ignited by this new moon and eclipse energy. So something that I didn't mention towards the beginning of the episode is about where you can view this solar eclipse, because I feel like this is an important point to cover, because so many people will ask me, do I need to see the solar eclipse to harness the energy of the eclipse? And the answer is no, you do not need to actually see the eclipse. Of course, if you see the eclipse, that brings a really powerful experience for you. But solar eclipses, they're often only seen in a really small section of the world. So this particular eclipse, if you're in the US, it is your lucky time to see this solar eclipse. This solar eclipse in Libra is making a beautiful path right through the US, through to Mexico, and down through Brazil. So you'll probably want to look that up to find out the exact time that you'll be able to see that in your local area. But basically, Saturday morning, as a general guide, Saturday the 14th of October. But yeah, check that out for your local time zone, and to see if it is something that you'll be able to see where you are located. There's only like a really small path where you'll be able to see the full eclipse. And this particular eclipse in Libra is an annular eclipse, which means that the moon moves right in front of the sun, but there's still going to be this like a ring of light around the moon that you'll be able to see. So it's a pretty spectacular sight. And of course, if you are viewing the eclipse, be sure to have appropriate measures. Like, don't look at it directly with naked eyes, because it can be quite damaging for your eyes because you're still looking directly at the sun. But anyways, even if you can't see the entire eclipse, if you're like maybe not situated directly in the path of the eclipse, you may still be able to see a partial eclipse, depending on where you are still located in the US, or in South America as well. So let's go back to talking about manifesting with the new moon in Libra. So I've told you all about looking at your natal chart, about looking at the 12 different houses, and looking out for natal planets that may be ignited by this energy as well. So I want to talk a bit more about the astrology of what's coming up with this new moon and solar eclipse in Libra. So what's going to be happening, and I have my almanac here. If you haven't seen this before, I get these beautiful almanacs printed from a place called Honeycomb Almanac. You can Google them. This is like my astrology Bible. It has like everything I need to know about like what's currently happening in the sky. So they have these beautiful lunation charts. So that's what I'm looking at today. And I can see what's happening on this eclipse is that we have Mercury, and then of course the sun and moon, because new moon, but then also the south node are all hanging out in Libra quite close together on this eclipse. But the other cool thing that's happening when I look opposite Libra, the opposite sign of Libra being Aries, this eclipse is opposite Chiron. So Chiron is the asteroid of healing and wounds. And I feel like this healing energy is going to be a big theme of what's coming up with this new moon and solar eclipse in Libra. Healing relationships, healing your relationships with others, healing your relationship with yourself. If self-love practices is something that you are feeling called to focus on with this new moon, I feel like this will be a really healing experience for yourself if you choose to focus on that. And of course, another theme of Libra is balance. So maybe finding a bit more balance can bring some healing for you, whether you need more balance between some different areas in your life, or just need to take things in more moderation. This could bring some healing for you. So healing is one of these big themes that's going to come up with this specific new moon and solar eclipse in Libra. So I hope that this episode was really helpful for you for understanding how to manifest with the energy of this new moon and solar eclipse in Libra. If you want to know more about how this is going to affect you specifically, or how you can harness this energy, I'm open for readings. You can book in a reading in the show notes below. You'll find a direct link to my booking page. I offer a range of readings starting from 10 minutes up to an hour. So you can choose how long you need depending on, what's on your mind, how much guidance you need. And in a reading with me, you can expect to use either astrology and or tarot. It's totally your choice, to get insights about what's coming up for this new moon, or any other questions that you have on your mind that you're needing some spiritual guidance for. So you'll find the link in the show notes below, or you can just go to kyrahowearth.com.au/readings to book in your reading and find out more about what's coming up with this new moon in Libra. As I mentioned, like one of the themes for this new moon in Libra is relationships. And one of the things I love doing in readings is relationship readings. I love looking at compatibility between two different charts. It's always so exciting. So if that's something that may be coming up for you this new moon, feel free to send me a message or book it below, because yeah, it's always so fun. So let me know what's coming up for you this new moon and eclipse. If you found out what's happening on your chart, what house this is happening in, what other planets may be ignited. Maybe you have a whole bunch of planets hanging out in Libra like that. It's exciting. Send me a message. I'm always so excited to hear your insights from these episodes. So if you found out something cool that's happening for you this new moon and eclipse, let me know. You can send me a message on Instagram at kyrahowearth.official or Facebook, or wherever we connect. You'll find me all over the place. And if you're listening on YouTube, you can always just comment below on this video as well. So have a wonderful new moon, and I hope that you manifest some really cool things with this solar eclipse. And if you do happen to manifest something really fast, let me know about that as well, because that would be really exciting to hear about. So stay magical, stay manifesting, and stay tuned. I'll be back soon with another episode. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Moon Manifesting Podcast. If you're wanting more moon magic, check out my book, Moon Manifesting. Download your free Moon Manifesting calendar or connect with me on social media. You can do all of that at kyrahowearth.com.au. Stay magical, stay manifesting, and stay tuned. I'll speak with you in the next episode.